A man will spend the next 7 decades in prison for a police chase in Hendricks County that ended in a crash, killing 2 young children. Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us at 5 tonight. I'm Dustin Grove in for Anne Marie.
And I'm Felicia Lawrence. And it happened around this same time last year in Plainfield. Our Ashton Hackman was in the courtroom as Sadani Pettis heard not just his sentence, but the emotional testimony from family.
A truly emotional testimony today at the Hendricks County Courthouse for that sentencing hearing. The family of those 2 children killed in that crash taking the stand, telling the judge how much of an impact that crash has had.
It's been just over a year since 3-year-old Aries and his 2-month-old sister Iris died in a crash near US 40 and Ronald Reagan Parkway in Plainfield. Their father was seriously injured. Police were chasing Sadani Pettis in a stolen vehicle who was going nearly 90 miles per hour at the time of the crash. Pettis pleaded guilty to all of the charges last month after his bench trial already started. In court Monday, the family of Aris and Iris spoke directly to Pettis, sharing the pain of milestones that will never be reached. One of the grandparents held the ashes of the children as she testified. All who spoke said their family has been left shattered and will never be the same.
From day one, this family has been just the epitome of strength in light of the circumstances. Today was no exception. No sentence is going to be justice. We cannot bring back Aries and Iris.
Pettis spoke at his sentencing, saying he accepts responsibility for what happened. He called both of the children beautiful babies. The judge said Pettis did not seem remorseful, saying, quote, "He didn't make a bad choice, he made an evil one," adding his character is not a good one, end quote. He then sentenced Pettis to 74 years in prison.
This is a sentence that is worthy of, as the court said, evil that the defendant committed on February 5th. And I think that the sentence reflects that. Just the amount of pain that the defendant's actions caused on February 5th will ripple forever.
Pettis now has 30 days to file an appeal for his sentence. He told the judge today he plans to do so. In Hendricks County, Ashton Hackman, 13 News.
Well, tonight we're learning prosecutors believe a little girl who died suffered more abuse than they originally thought. Kinsley Welty died of starvation in 2024 at just 5 years old. Her mother, Toni McClure, is accused of killing her. And now the state has amended the charges against her to say the abuse began all the way back in 2021. Prosecutors are still seeking life without parole. Right now, the trial is delayed until June. A pregnant woman shot during a pursuit and shootout with police is going to prison for being the getaway driver in an armed robbery.
Our Rich Nye takes us into the courtroom with his camera for the sentencing that will separate that mother from her children.
28-year-old Ariana Morris offered no apology and no statement before the judge sentenced her as part of a plea agreement for conspiracy to commit armed robbery. Morris was the getaway driver when her then boyfriend, Rick Tez Williams, robbed the Dollar General at Raymond and Shelby in September 2023. Police were quickly in pursuit and stopped the car with a grappler device on Missouri Street near Lucas Oil Stadium. That's when Williams stuck his gun out the window and fired shots. Police returned fire. Williams and Morris ran from the car. Williams was killed.
Morris was hit by at least 6 bullets, although none of the bullets hit her unborn child, but one is still lodged in her uterus.
Morris gave birth to a daughter, Williams' child, 3 months after the shooting.
I think it is an aggravator that the defendant committed and was a part of a felony while pregnant. I know that she has another young child at home, but to think of it, she was committing this robbery while that young child was at home.
The judge sent Morris to prison for 3.5 years, plus a 1.5 year probation. In Indianapolis, Rich Nye, 13 News.
Also today, the man accused in a deadly hit and run appeared in court for the first time. 25-year-old Javante Williams, turned himself into police last week. Investigators believe he struck a man with his car last year and then left the scene. The crash happened on North Shadeland Avenue near East 34th Street. The judge today set his bond at $24,000 cash. He is expected back in court next month. And we have new information tonight in the investigation surrounding Haley Busby's disappearance and death. According to court documents, Tyler Thomas and Busby had been talking for more than a year using the app Sessions to communicate. Those new details are coming as Haley Busby's parents deal with the reality of their daughter's death.
Well, today they channeled that hurt and issued a call for action at the Indiana State House targeting social media safeguards for teens. 13 News State House reporter Emily Longnecker has the story.
Well, lawmakers were visibly moved. Some even cried this morning when Haley Busby's parents spoke in front of the House Education Committee. The Busbys were there to speak in support of a change to a bill that already passed out of the Senate last month. Now it's the House's turn to consider that bill. Monday morning, Haley Busby's parents became the face of every parent's worst nightmare. Speaking to lawmakers, many of them parents themselves, about what it's like to lose their child through the use of social media.
Last month, our precious daughter, Haley Paige Busby, was lured away from our home, tragically murdered by an online predator. We are still in the agonizing process of finalizing her arrangements, living every parent's worst nightmare.
The Busby spoke in support of a change to Senate Bill 199. The overall bill tweaks several education policies, among them one that deals with how elementary schools address low reading scores. The proposed change to the bill, supported by the Busbys, deals with kids and social media use. The change would require Hoosier teens 16 and younger to have verified parental permission to sign on to a platform. Under the proposed amendment, data about how kids are using the platform could not be shared or marketed. With this amendment, the Attorney General could sue for violations. The Busbys urge lawmakers to act and vote for the amendment to the bill.
We are in the midst of the greatest crisis of our time. We are losing the fight to protect our children. The internet and social media are the devil's and predators' playgrounds, and it's on this front that we must fight. I understand that the amendment as it stands today may not be in its final form, but I beg of you, please do not let this opportunity slip away.
Lawmakers on the House Education Committee did not vote on the proposed amendment Monday. That could come later this week. And the change to this bill isn't the only one that Haley's parents are pushing for. There's also a proposed amendment to another bill that would deal with the state's alert system. That has come under scrutiny since Haley's death. Coming up at 6, we'll tell you where that proposed change stands and what lawmakers are saying about it. At the State House, Emily Longnecker, 13 News.
Emily, thank you. And to Lawrence now, where several hundred students walked out of school today to protest against ICE. It happened around 2:25 this afternoon at Lawrence Central. Police were there to make sure everybody and everything stayed orderly, but it was a peaceful protest, as you can see right there. Students went back inside about an hour later. This is just the latest in a series of local students and students across the country walking out of school and class to protest the federal government's approach to tackling illegal immigration.
Tonight, Johnson Memorial Health says it's closing its maternity care center and will no longer offer OB services.
Our Jenna Webster looked into that story today, and she learned the hospital is blaming insurance reimbursement rates.
Johnson Memorial is just another in a growing problem around Indiana. Since 2020, 15 other OB departments have closed their doors.
That's the latest data from the Indiana Hospital Association. Johnson Memorial Health says it loses about $2 million a year providing maternity care services. And with other financial pressures on the hospital, it's just not sustainable. The CEO blames low insurance reimbursement rates and rising costs. Indiana Medicaid reimburses JMH for 57% of the cost of care. Medicare reimburses 82%. And close to 3/4 of its patients are insured by Medicaid and Medicare. The CEO says commercial insurance payouts are decreasing too. He's now calling on lawmakers to find a way to help hospitals.
The state has to wake up. We have to do something. Insurance companies have to be held accountable for not paying hospitals for the services they provide. And from a Medicaid reimbursement standpoint, we have to raise our rates. We can no longer be the 8th lowest in the nation.
48 Johnson Memorial Health staffers will lose their job with the closure of the maternity care center. JMH doesn't have an exact closure date yet, saying it will work with expecting moms to find care at other area hospitals. In Franklin, Jenna Webster, 13 News.
Map of the day on this Monday, the 24-hour temperature change. The milder air is here. We're up 11 degrees in Shelbyville from this time yesterday, up 17 in Bloomington, and we're 14 degrees warmer in Indianapolis. A mix of sun and clouds today. Temperatures in the upper 30s and low 40s, right at 40 over downtown Indianapolis, 40 in Noblesville, 37 degrees in Crawfordsville, 34 at Bunker Hill. Temperatures this evening will stay in the 30s. Clouds a bit on the increase, but we'll be back into a mix of sun and clouds tomorrow afternoon, and even warmer than what we had today. Temperatures will climb into the middle and upper 40s, 47 tomorrow, back into the 30s midweek, but we also have another warm up on the way as we look ahead to the weekend. Rain and snow chances to track in the 7-day.